On this week's Pop-Up Podcast, we're going to have two of Indian River County's biggest and best realtors, Mike Young and Mike Higgins. Take a listen. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. Here we go. This is our first one. Welcome, everybody, to the Vero Beach Social Media Pop-Up Podcast. I'm Curtis Carpenter. I've got Mike Higgins with me. I've got Mike Young with me. They're both realtors with Dale Sorensen Real Estate. Say sup.
What's up?
What's up?
No, I said say sup.
Sup.
There you go. That's better. All right.
Like the little kid from the Little League game.
That's right. Sup, Miss Stevens.
What's up, Miss Stevens?
Yeah. So, again, it's our first Pop-Up Podcast. We're here at Cap's Pizza. Big thanks and shout out to John for letting us set up this elaborate process. You guys are looking at it if you're watching on video. If you're just listening, this is a pretty elaborate setup. We got wires everywhere. I mean, it's crazy up in here.
HBO at Caps.
HBO at Caps. That's right. So anyhow. Obviously, this podcast is about marketing, so we're going to get into that. But first, I want you guys to introduce yourselves. I guess I'll let Mike Higgins go first. Shoot.
Okay. So I'm Mike Higgins. I obviously work with Dale Sorensen Real Estate. I'm a Vero Beach local, born and raised here. I'm 40 years old now, so I've been enjoying Cap's Pizza pretty much my whole life. So I think it's really cool that we're doing this here. This is starting my fourth year in real estate. So.
All right, 4 years in real estate. Before we get too far into it, what did you do before you did real estate?
So I worked at Southern Eagle Distributing for 6 years. And then I worked at like a drug rehabilitation center for a little while, just in the transition.
All right.
So, and I actually do want to mention I have obviously a wife, Vicky, and 5 kids. So
5 kids.
Yeah,
that's a lot of mouths to feed.
That's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah. So. That's crazy. All right, Mike Young with the baby headphones. Go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
I can't hear you. These are children's headphones. No, I'm just kidding. I can't hear you. My name is Mike Young. I also lived in Vero Beach most of my life, with the exception of like high school, college days. I have been selling real estate for 7 years, all with Dale Sorensen Real Estate. Coach when I'm not, just like you guys.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to this podcast. I also have a wife. Her name is Amy, and we have 4 kids. So together we have starting 9 baseball teams.
We do.
And you're talking to me, but remember, you got to talk to the mic so that people can hear you. There you go.
Talk to the microphone.
That's better.
We got it.
So you've got 5, you've got 4, and I have 3.
Yeah. We're good.
Who's got 2? We need somebody with 2,
go.
and then 1. So we 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yes.
But yeah, 12. We got a little football team
We
going.
do.
We're good to go.
Plus 1. And
Football
a sub.
team. Well, I mean, you need a punter.
You gotta
need a punter.
You gotta have a sub.
Yeah, all right.
Definitely. Long snapper.
Hell yeah. All right, here we go. So, all right, you're both realtors. Young, you've been doing it 7 years. Higgins, you've been doing it 4 years. You both have always been with DSRE, right?
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, what got you, I'll start with you, Mike. What got you into real estate?
Dale.
Okay.
Yeah, I mutual connections, and he had said, you should probably come sell real estate for me. And I said, I don't know. I had a pretty cushioned job at Verizon. I was just kind of hanging out, and I went and took the class, started doing referrals, and then realized, wait a minute, these guys are out here having fun, and I'm stuck in an office all day. And so I started doing that, and best decision I ever made.
Sweet. And so, Mike, talk to me about what got you into real estate.
So my story's a little bit the same, except for Mike Young is my reason. I had just got done working at Southern Eagle, and I was in a little bit of a transition. And Mike said, hey, man, you would be really good at real estate. You're a good people person. You're going to get into real estate. And I'm like, nah, I'm not really interested. And 2 days later, I had the books at my house to start class. So that's how I got started and haven't looked back. It's been awesome.
That's awesome, man. All right, cool. All right, so you guys have both been in it 4 years, 7 years. Of course, this podcast is about marketing. I want to talk a little bit about that. Dale Sorensen Real Estate is well known all around as being the biggest brokerage around, and I attribute that to the marketing that Dale Sorensen Real Estate does. Why don't you guys talk? You figure out who wants to go first. Why don't you guys talk a little bit about the marketing that you do, what works and what doesn't?
So I'll go first on that. I'm going to let Mike handle the brunt of that, but I've done a lot of social media marketing, and that just seems to be the biggest thing for me right now. But it all works, man. We do everything. We do newspaper marketing, print marketing. I mean, Dale sponsors everything that he possibly can. The stuff that they do in the community is second to none. And I think that's just one of the biggest things, and I'll let Mike Young talk a little more about it.
Yeah, so as far as marketing, I've always been in the camp of if you can do more marketing, do more marketing, And, we don't with the exception of the reporting that you've given me, that I've seen from you, I don't know which buyer came from where most times, but I know that buyers come. And what we're doing is attracting the buyer. But I think, I've seen real value in the social media end of the marketing. I've seen real value in the video shooting that we do, things like that. Something that really gets your face and helps you own that airspace that you're in. That's what I've been trying to do.
Sweet. Trust me, that's music to my ears when I hear social media and digital marketing and videos and all that stuff. So you don't have to fluff my skirt here. It's okay. You can be honest a little bit about some of this other stuff. What type of marketing? So let me figure out how to rephrase this. You do marketing. You do digital marketing. You do newspaper marketing. You do all sorts of marketing. Do you do specific types of marketing to achieve certain objectives? For instance, do you do newspaper marketing because I just want everybody to know who I am? I do digital marketing because I'm looking for specific buyers. Things like that.
So I think we do the newspaper marketing because we've always done the newspaper marketing, and it's the old adage: if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Sure.
And so the holy grail of real estate was the newspaper section, the real estate section in the newspaper, and that's never changed in the eyes of real estate agents. So every Sunday we're in that newspaper and we're right there. Now then you look at, okay, well now we can get such a broader reach for significantly less money on social media or via the internet, and so that's really taken over in my eyes as the head of what we do for marketing, because you can reach so many more people and you can have it reported back to you as to who you met and who you reached, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Mike, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I just think that it's cool with the social media marketing, how you can get the impressions exactly how they come. You can tell exactly what age range and what type of demographic have checked out your properties or your listings. So I like that idea of social media marketing.
Yeah, we talk all the time about, the sales pitch for me selling social media ads is, hey, you put an ad in the newspaper or the radio or TV or wherever. I come to you at the end of the month and I say, hey, here's how many people we hit, here's how many times the ad showed up, here's how many people clicked through to your website, so on and so forth. I challenge you to ask the other brokers for the other, newspaper, TV, or whatever to do the same. And if they can do it and you feel like you're getting good bang for your buck, great. But until I see that data, until I see those analytics, I'm not sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck. So.
I send a postcard out that's the size of a small billboard every single month, with a life-size picture of my head on it. And it goes out every single month to a bunch of neighborhoods, but it's something that I've done and I've always done. And maybe it's the baseball guy superstition in me. When
don't step on the chalk line.
You don't step on the chalk line. Yeah, you don't walk away. You don't walk on the chalk line.
You gotta get up to the mic.
You don't walk on the chalk line.
Right.
And you don't talk about a no-no during a no-no.
That's right.
So, but I do think that there are, ways to take what we do and always get better at it.
Right.
And that's what I think we're always looking for, is what's going to help us get to that next phase in our career, that next level. And I think right now we're finding that it's the digital world.
One thing that I noticed about Dale Sorensen Real Estate, and I tell everybody about this, even other realtors and other brokerages, is I feel like DSRE back in 2004, 5, 6, 7, they were in the mix with everybody else. There's Coldwell Banker, there's Remax, there was all these guys. The recession hit in 08, 09, whatever, and everybody dialed back from their marketing dollars. But you guys, Dale Sorensen Real Estate, doubled down and started spending more. And that was when I noticed, again, this is 10 years ago, but I that's when I noticed as a young person. I was 27, I guess, 10 years ago. That's when I noticed that you guys all of a sudden rose to the top. And you've been riding the top of that wave for 10 years. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on, okay, the market's real hot right now. What happens if the market starts to drop a little? I'm not saying it's going to, but hypothetically, let's say houses are now virtually worthless. What are your ideas and your thoughts on how to redistribute your marketing funds?
We just continue to focus on the client. At the end of the day, we do the marketing so that we can reach buyers and sellers and put them together to help build that relationship. That's what it's all about. And regardless of the market, how hot it is versus how not hot it is, we're always going to be able to put buyers and sellers together because that's what we try and do. You know, there are companies out there that their only goal is to get a check, get a check, get a check.
Right.
The focus has to be shifted off of that. And I'll tell you, 7 years ago when I started, I thought that's what it was all about. I thought it was, when can I make my first check? And it took me a little bit because I had to switch my focus and really learn that this is a relationship business. You know, it's not the same as any other sales job that I've ever had where you're just trying to shove a product down somebody's throat. You're trying to find somebody something they're going to fall in love with.
Right.
And so I think regardless of how the market works, we're going to continue to shift that marketing in a way that is, you know, cost effective for us so that we can bring a cost effective product to a buyer or a seller.
Love it.
Yeah, so I agree with that. I think the reason I got into real estate was to start helping people in the community that I love, the community I grew up in. And I think the cool thing about being at Sorensen is being able to sit with Dale Jr. a couple times a week and picking his brain. Like, it doesn't matter what the market does, Dale's going to have a plan of where we're going to go with marketing. It could go either way. It could swing back up, it could swing down, and he's going to have a plan of what we're doing already in place. And I think that's the cool thing about Sorensen.
Yeah, you had mentioned that, you know, when everybody else kind of was in that recession mode where nobody was spending and then we kept spending, Dale, the guy's a genius.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. When it comes to marketing, I joke with sellers at listing appointments and tell them, you know, Dale Sorensen Real Estate's a marketing company that happens to focus on real estate, you know?
Right.
And so if we decided tomorrow that, hey, we're going to go sell stamps, we'd be the best stamp seller in all of Indian River County.
What I find really interesting about Dale Sorensen Real Estate is it's really, I mean, 4 owners really if you look at it. It's Matilda and Dale Sr. and then you have Dale Jr. and Elizabeth.
Yep.
3 of those people are realtors.
Yeah.
One of those people is a marketer.
Yeah.
And I dare anybody to go find a brokerage right now where a quarter of the owners focus only on marketing.
Yeah.
That's all Dale cares about.
Yeah,
is
that's
marketing. It's not Dale Jr. It's not selling houses. We used to say that, you know, running a lot of ads for you guys was like, our job is not to sell the house. Our job is to sell the company.
Right.
The company's employees' jobs are to sell the houses. Right. And so we used to joke with that all the time because we get calls from realtors and say, oh, I want to market this house, I have to sell it. It's like, no, you've got to market yourself. You've got to market your brokerage.
That's correct.
You've got to market why somebody wants to sell their house with you or buy a house from you.
Right.
It doesn't happen house by house. You know, it starts way before that.
Yeah, you're selling a brand, you know, and that's something that we've really talked about as a company is, you know, when you look at a Mercedes-Benz commercial or a BMW commercial, you know, both of those companies sell $30,000 cars.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But you don't think about that when you look at their ad. You think about their luxury car.
That's right.
You know, their $150,000 car. And so that's the way we've kind of taken the real estate approach to it is every house, no matter if it's a $40,000 house or a $4 million house, is going to get a luxury approach.
Yep.
Luxury is a lifestyle, not a price point.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree.
So when it comes to luxury homes, I mean, you guys sell every type of house. You
Yeah,
sell, you know, $20,000 lots all the way up to $15 million homes.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to the marketing to each one of those, you guys are very good. I want you to talk a little bit about it, is figuring out how to market what to who. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, all right, I'm in the market for a $300,000 house, so you market to me differently than you would market to somebody that's trying to buy a $10 million home.
Right.
Well, yes and no. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we're going to use the same photographer for each listing. You know, we're going to use the same marketing plan. You know, it's a local, national, and a global plan. We're going to roll everything out for both sellers. The difference is you're going to see that $10 million listing a little bit more than you're going to see the $300,000 listing, simply because the $300,000 listing is going to sell in an hour.
Right.
And so, you know, there's a finite amount of $10 million buyers.
Right.
There really aren't in the market we're in now a finite amount of $300,000 buyers.
Right.
And so you're just going to see it longer. So it's going to look like, in perception, that we marketed it more. If that $300,000 house would have chilled out on the market for a week, we would have marketed it just as much.
Interesting. No, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great perspective on it.
No, yeah, I can think of a lot of times recently where we have these huge marketing plans for houses that are under $300,000 and you just don't even get to implement it because it's gone so quickly.
So I wanted to bring that up, and we're going to wrap up here pretty soon, but I wanted to talk about market conditions now.
Sure.
Well, let's start with that. Market now, today. I know this podcast won't come out until next week. Today is August the 12th, I believe. It's August 12th. It's about 12:30. Market today, right this second. What's it look like? Mike Higgins, go.
It's definitely still a seller's market. It's hot right now. We got plenty of buyers. Yeah, that's all I'd say right now. It's definitely still a seller's market. If you have something that you're thinking about listing, now's the time to get top dollar.
All right. You want to add to that, Young?
I would just add to that a little bit by saying that, there's a big myth out right now that there's no inventory.
Right.
And that couldn't be more false.
Right.
There is plenty of inventory. There's just more sellable inventory. If you compare the numbers from last year to this year, we're up about 130 homes from month to month, which is roughly 20% of the homes. So with 20% more homes being sold, there are transactions happening, which means there is inventory on the market to buy. You just have to find an expert that knows where that inventory is to get you there.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. So the follow-up to that is August 12th, 2022. What are we looking at? You go first, Mike Young.
I think we're still in a good spot. I think that what we're going to start to see is the ban on evictions and things like that start to come in. We're going to see more inventory levels rise, and we're going to see these buyers that have been chomping at the bits to buy these houses be able to buy them. But I don't think that it's going to cause a huge ruckus. I could be wrong. If I had a crystal ball, we'd be having this podcast from my jet.
Right. Well, I mean, Caps is probably better than
my
a jet.
second favorite
place
place on earth.
Can you get pizza and a beer, like pizza made on a jet?
If Johnny's there, you can.
Yeah, that's right. We need a jet with an oven.
We need a jet with an oven and John.
That's right. So sorry to cut you off, but if you had a crystal ball,
I think we're still in a good spot. I really do. I study the trends, the market. We've got a steady trend going in the right direction, and I think we'll be good for a little longer.
Okay.
How much longer?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, Mike and I get together a couple times a week and just kind of study the market and where it's going, and I don't see, I don't see a huge change a year from now.
Yeah.
Now, what happens tomorrow is we got to see.
That's why I
there's
timestamped
no
this.
outside factors.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with the economy, those things could change the way things look. Of
course. What and now I'm just spitballing. I don't have this question even written down. If you had to give a percentage, what percentage of buyers do you see are coming from outside of Vero Beach?
More than half, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say probably a little more than half. Now, what we're seeing now is that a lot of buyers are coming in with cash.
Right.
And so there are still buyers that are local Vero people.
Right.
And they're getting outbid by cash buyers.
Right.
And so it's a tough spot to be in. I recently had two that were local Vero people, actually Little League families, and they wanted to buy homes, and we just continuously got outbid. So what we started doing was writing these cover letters.
Yep.
Hey, we don't have $350,000 cash, but we're from here. We grew up in this neighborhood, and all we want to do is grow our family and leave our kids in this school system where we know they're going to get taught the right thing.
Right.
We want to raise our kids here, and currently, as it sits, we're not going to be able to. And both times it worked.
That was cool when that worked the first time.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that the seller would even read that.
The seller took $20,000 less, and it was not cash.
Wow.
Because they wanted somebody that was from here to stay here.
It was cool. It was cool seeing it all come up, like
amazing.
watching from the outside.
Yeah. All right. So we'll say half and half. Half the buyers are in Vero, half the buyers are out.
Yep.
How do you market to both of these? Because again, in my opinion, there are two different tactics that you take, one for local and one for out of town. But what do you guys do? What does Sorensen do? What does your team do?
I'm a big fan of the lifestyle video.
Yep.
Dale and I had this conversation a couple years ago about his vacationing habits to Boone, North Carolina. And we said, Dale didn't choose Boone, North Carolina because of a hotel or an Airbnb that he could go stay in. He chose Boone, North Carolina because of the waterfalls and the wildlife and the bears and stuff like that. So when we talked about, it's nothing different in marketing real estate as it is marketing, to you as a vacation. And so we started looking at, okay, why would people choose Vero Beach? There's a billion reasons why people would choose Vero Beach.
Paradise.
Let's stop pumping listings onto people's news feeds on social media. Let's stop pumping all these houses like every other company is doing, and let's start shooting out videos of lifestyle, of a paddleboarder in the river with some dolphins, of people going on a boat and leaving their dock in their backyard, and things like that. And that really changed the game for the out-of-towners.
Yep.
local people, they're going to come to us because we've helped them in the past. We've helped one of their family members. Again, I go back to this as a relationship business. Right. And if I've helped 10 of your friends, there's a no-brainer for you to call us. And so we sell more of our own listings than any other company sells in total sales. And so that's simply because we're going to get the listing, we're going to bring you the buyer, and that's what we do. So.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the lifestyle video is the way to go, especially with people not from here. But we've also, I think Mike has done this too, where you send a mailer to somebody from a pocket area somewhere up north that is, that we see a lot of people moving here from that area.
Yeah.
I think that works well too. I mean, I've gotten a ton of calls from that.
That's
so.
You've done targeted social media ads for me.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I don't know. This is our first podcast, so I don't know when we're supposed to wrap this up. I got all my questions answered. So.
What do I do with my hands?
I don't know. I thought we were going to eat, but we never got a chance to order.
We need to order.
Mike's going to wither away to nothing. So
I'm losing weight, and I don't like to lose weight.
Oh, Mikey, we can't have that.
I know.
It's funny. I'm sitting here, and I'm just looking back, and right over Mike Higgins' left shoulder is a DSRE and Caps banner. I don't even know what it's for, but
it's for Little League.
Is it for Little League? That's hilarious because I'm like sitting here the whole time talking about how branding and how you guys do everything and do this and do that, and I'm like, yep, right over his left shoulder.
That was the banner when we had our inaugural Christmas parade, where we walked in the Christmas parade as kind of you had just dropped the social media, we dropped the website, started the registration, and we got all the kids that we could together. That was the banner that they held in the front.
So we are gonna divert a little bit on this topic. We're gonna go to Little League baseball.
Let's do it.
So Mike Higgins, Mike Young, they're both on the board. I help with communications with Little League. We have a fall season coming up.
We do.
Okay, registration runs through the end of August?
End of August, I think,
Okay. Season starts October.
Yep.
And runs through
Thanksgiving.
Just before Thanksgiving.
Okay. So if you guys are listening to this, and if you've gotten this far into this, kudos.
We appreciate it.
Man, I love you guys.
Much love.
And you got a kid that wants to play Little League, go to www.verobaseball.com.
Vero Baseball.
Click register. You can register through the end of August. Again, this podcast will be live, I don't know, the 15th, 16th, 17th, something like that. So you still have 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So register your kids for Little League, man.
And then you can have a kid in Little League and perhaps listen to Curtis and I call a game.
That's right.
That's good times.
Mike Young and I have called a fair share of games for Little League.
It feels weird sitting next to you talking into a microphone, not watching a baseball game.
It's a 3-2 count on little Stevie Jones.
Game.
Little League World Series going on.
Little League World Series is on.
Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Pass ball.
Big shout out Martin County North. Representing Florida, going to Williamsport. Mike Higgins not happy about it. So again, a little extra on this, just because we're not restricted by time. Mike Higgins' son and my son played on the same all-star team, and they played Martin County North. And our team lost 2-1. On just one bad pitch. A kid hit a 2-run home run. And I'm willing to bet an appendage that bat was shaved.
Home run derby bat.
Oh man, it sounded funky.
It sounded like a cannon.
I wouldn't lay my life on it, but I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah, so if Mark Rogers, who's up in Williamsport right now and coaches the Martin County North team, is listening to this, which we know he's not. Yeah, he's Russell Wilson's agent as well. We think you cheated, bruh.
Or Trey Mancini.
Or Trey Mancini.
Yeah, whoever.
But we are rooting for you now.
Yeah, now we want you to win.
Yeah, I mean, you're from Florida, dude. I mean, that's kind of cool. And we played you guys, and we lost on a funky home run that, we win the game. Who knows? Maybe we're in Williamsport.
Yeah, maybe you're on TV.
Yeah, maybe I'm on TV instead
Maybe I'm doing a podcast with myself.
Yeah, but I'd rather be at Caps doing a podcast with you guys.
Me too.
It's close, but yeah.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us. I don't even know how long we've run because we had the technical difficulties in the middle. We're about a half an hour, so
let's get some food.
Anyhow, let's get some food. Cauliflower pizza.
Oh man.
Burger.
I'm getting the burger.
Bro, I got to get the burger.
But they serve it. He doesn't have the bread that he usually uses.
Bro, oh my goodness.
But I'm willing to take the chance on
who's the cook that makes those?
Raphael,
yeah.
All right, Rafi, we need Rafi.
He's a goat.
All right, that's going to do it from us. Again, I am with Mike Young. I'm with Mike Higgins with Dale Sorensen Real Estate. We are at Caps Pizza and Pub on Oslo Road and 27th Avenue. If you haven't tried their pizza, it is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Johnny Cat, big shout out to everybody here, all the people sitting around,
Thanks, Kathy.
listening to us, I guess.
Wondering when the world's going on.
Yeah, like, hey, will you guys shut up so I can eat my lunch?
That's right.
Shout out to everybody. We will have our next pop-up podcast. We'll be broadcasting from Green Marlin with
Nice.
Andy Siegel from AYS Employee Leasing. So
Very
cool.
look out for that. And again, thank you guys very much. Hold on.
Oh,
Thank
we
you for
got, we
having
got
us.
more. We got more.
We got something. He's reaching
I
down.
almost forgot.
Reaching down. Oh, a bag.
Little swag
Oh,
bag.
Yes.
swag bag.
Oh,
Swag
big
bag.
shout out.
Look at that.
Look at this. Look what
See
you
what
guys
it
have.
is.
Now,
Appreciate that,
I
man.
know you
Christmas
guys
time.
have your own kind of.
Ooh, I wanted one of these.
I know you guys have your own kind of stuff.
It's the right color.
with the SRE. I know
It's
the
the right
seafoam
color.
green, but
What camera are we on? Look at
Where are we
that.
at?
you're on all of them.
There's like
cameras going left and
36
right.
cameras.
Yeah.
That one's for TikTok. That one's for Hulu.
I like these.
They're for everything.
I
don't
like
know.
these,
We're on
man. I
every
appreciate it.
platform known to man.
Hey, you don't need yours at these. You don't golf, so
Oh snap!
I mean,
you don't know how.
Vero Beach social media golf balls,
Yes.
mugs. What else
Dang.
is in there?
We got hooked
I think there's
up.
some pens,
Got
some
some koozies.
koozies. Yeah.
Look at
listen,
that.
I haven't had a beer in 75 days, so
What number is today?
I'm on 72.
72. So you're
No,
doing
no, I'm
this
on 73.
I
Two more
put 'em-
days.
75 days of like clean eating, and clean
Yep.
living, and all that.
Yep.
Come join the dark side on day 76.
I told him to give you a regular Pepsi. So that
she served it in a can.
75 more days.
Oh boy, that would have been
If
great.
he
She
takes
served it in a can.
One mess up, he has to redo all 75 days.
Oh man, are you like on pins and needles, like walking on eggshells?
Well, yeah.
Can
A
I
little
pay
bit.
you to do Reese's advertising in his Facebook?
Yes.
Reese Cup advertising.
You can pay me to
Just
do any
snack
type of
food.
advertising you want.
Snack food
You say,
advertising.
if you say pay, Curtis is in.
Yep. All right, guys. Hey, thank you all very much. Enjoy your stuff.
for having
I
us.
Appreciate it, man.
you taking the time to meet with me.
Of course.
Do this thing again. It's our first one, so can only get better from
I'm
here.
looking forward to the lifestyle
We're
video
number
you
one.
did for me.
Yep.
Huh?
All right.
We're the first
Number one,
ones.
All right,
always.
any last words before I hit the stop
Tra-
record?
trade-
Thank
Trademark.
you. Thank you.
Number
for having
one.
us.
You're welcome.
We're number one.
We are number one.
Yeah, because we're the first
Ricky Bobby
first
Inc.
podcast.
That's right.
Ricky Bobby Inc.
There you go. All
Shake
right.
and bake.
Thanks, Andy, too.
Oh,
Thanks,
big
Andy.
shout out to Andy.
Shout out.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks.